It's still Tuesday morning, TMI, on independent television. Of course, earlier, Daisy Rich helped to kickstart the show while I was on my way to be part of the event. Of course, we're holding brief for your regular anchor on the program, Philip Omobumo. We'll just get the discussion segment on course on the show this beautiful Monday, beautiful Tuesday morning. Well, the country has been awash with the stories around the controversy over looted funds. It started with the Minister of Information, who released some names of those he allegedly called looters. And then, of course, the opposition party, PDP, followed that up by also naming names of those they also allegedly called looters. Today, we have a new list of looters, alleged looters, running around, so to speak. But today on the show, we're looking at the controversy that is surrounding this looting spree and how it's affecting the polity. I'm being joined now by Barrister Abraham Obiawe. He's a civil society activist. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
We also want to welcome Osaze Jesuabo for joining this conversation.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers.
And I have Collins Amadine Otara. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
We're expecting Barrister Daniel Ogbegie and Harrison Zeko is in the house. We'll take them on the second half of this discussion. Yeah, Barrister Obiawe, what does this whole conversation, discussions, analysis on the latest development in that polity holds for this country? Are you bothered about how everything is playing out?
First, we see clearly that the exposures in the last few days with respect to looters. First, the names that have been in the public domain are not new. I think the PDP, as released by the APC, the Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, and the list also sent out by the PDP to also say that if you say we have looted, no problem. The refund will start from so and so persons who are currently in your government. There are a lot of issues that may arise hereafter, particularly legal issues. If there is a presumption of innocence in our laws, and if you allow yourself to identify a man as being a looter, it means that you have bruised his ego and you have indicted this person. Be assured that the courts will be running very soon on the strength of several litigations that will befall the Minister for Information and Communication. But let me also say very clearly that what this has shown that both the APC and the PDP currently lack the capacity to take this country to its Eldorado. It is very clear. I like the washing of their own dirty linen in public. I like it very well. It's good. It means that the hue and cry for a third force is very, very important.
Okay, let me pause you there. Osaze Jesuabo, I know that there have been calls on the ruling party and the ruling government, as a matter of fact, to release the names of alleged looters. Some say finally it has been unveiled. Yeah, do you see it from that perspective?
Well, there was a court ruling, and in which the judge said, release the names of those you have recovered money from, or you have recovered properties from, and let us know what you have recovered so far, so that the public will be aware of how much has been recovered and others. That is not what they have done. Because in this, all they did was just to list those who they allege looted money. And if you look at the list, the PDP list, the APC list, 90% of them are cases that are in court. The APC's first list, the only person that was not in court in that list was Secondus, the national chairman of PDP. And the PDP list, the only two people or so who are not in court are Fayemi and Amechi. The other ones are in court. So I think what they did is directly different from what the court ordered. So what they did, we all know, is as a result of the challenge the publicity sector of PDP threw at them, that it is not enough to brandish names. To brandish figures. Name these people and let the whole world know. And that is what they reacted to. But you see, I don't see anything. First of all, I like the expose because it has shown that but there are two things that I have reservations over. If you listed those in PDP who have cases in court, one would have also expected them to list those in APC now who also have cases in court, even though those cases got to court before this government came. But the important thing is that these people have cases in court. And then secondly, it is going to amount to double trial for these people who have cases in court. And it is, to me, it is another way of the government passing vote of no confidence on the judiciary. Because we all know that I'm not a lawyer, even though I have a little knowledge of law. We all know that once a case is in court, you are not supposed to discuss that case outside of court. So what one would have expected would have been, in fact, I even think if there was to be any disclosure of name, it should come from EFCC. Because EFCC is the group. If EFCC had come out to say that these cases are in court, these cases we are investigating, these ones we are here to commence investigation, then people will take it we take it, it will be more acceptable.
Okay, let me proceed. I'll come back to you. Comrade Collins Samani Usara, there's a feeling that this is diversionary, just to take the people's attention away from what some would call the real issues, the real challenges facing the country.
I will agree with you, and I will agree with persons who had that assertion. One, not in totality anyway. One, it was PDP that drew the government attention. You know, just to say both the PDP and the government maybe became jobless, that they have to begin to do all this. Because otherwise, though many of us had since appealed to see the list of persons who have looted and how much they have recovered and what governments intend to do with it, you know, because at the time there were a lot of starvation and hunger in the land, and so much was said to have been kept that were retrieved from looters. And now I'm sure the calculative Nigerians can take their calculator now, because with the list I saw that the government released, there were certain amounts that was being measured, both in dollars and in pounds. So after doing all the calculations, we should know how much they have recovered from what they have listed so far.
Okay.
And then maybe now go further. Not really concerned about the name that were released, but what the economic system would want was to get how much had come out. So what has it been used for? Or is it a fixed deposit? What's the level of interest between the time of collection and those property? What have you done with them? Have they been auctioned out? Are they still there? Are they for sales? Then the beauty of what they have also done, which will also tie them, if they are not careful, would be further questions that will come. But just to say that it's part of democracy. PDP haven't looked at their own scale of preference. There is nothing as important to look into. They decide to ask governments, bring out the list of those you are claiming have looted. What I would have expected from the government was to indeed list out genuinely, not because I do not think that just the name they've collected or they retrieved money from. You shouldn't tell me it's about 28 persons or 32 persons so far that they've hijacked, or even those judges and all that they said some money were seen in their coffers and all that, even the Koi money and all that. We expected to see, because those were all looted by someone, even if you didn't identify. Just also put it there, looted money found in the airport, so amount. Looted money found in the Koi house, so amount. You know, just put them in order to show for more transparency. So we should be more concerned about helping the Nigerian system. But what has come today has shown that the opposition need to wake up as a true opposition. Also bringing out their own list, I think they will have more problem by unveiling lists that they were not allowed to do. Because one, Lai Mohammed was empowered by the court. I said, whoever made the ruling, if it was done in good faith, if it was not done in good faith, that's therefore both between them and the court, to resolve. Okay. But for the other party, I doubt if there was also a ruling from any court asking them, to release names of those they also assume have looted. Okay. Because they do not have the enabling law to have done that.
Okay, the lawyer is here. Probably he will respond to that issue. But quickly, are we seeing a play out of key issues that will determine, that will impact on the 2019 election, as it were?
Yes, I must tell you very clearly that with the happenings currently, what on one hand, because I'm going to address both the APC and the PDP, what on one hand the APC have shown that does not have capacity to drive the progress of this country to its destination. Because if in the last 3 years you have chose to hold the book of lamentation as your guide, you have consistently lamented, and my pain is that these were the problem on ground upon which Nigerians went to Mount Olympus to vote into power. If Nigerians have voted into power to solve problems 3 years after, you are still lamenting those problems. It means you lack the capacity to drive the ship of progress to its destination. And as such, Nigerians in their droves, because I speak to you live, let me tell you, the indices that propelled Nigerians to vote at Jonathan was less than 10% of what we are having today. Hunger have never been this high. Suffering have never been this high. And like a lot have said, if insecurity cannot be handled, and like my own very senior comrade said some weeks ago, that the inflation that will hit this country in terms of foodstuff in the coming weeks is still doing press up in Pakistan. Because if you have refused very strongly, if the Fulani herdsmen have driven our farmers from their farms, they can no longer come out with farm produce. They are scared. It means, therefore, demand will be more than supply. And by economic analysis, you know the implication when demand is far more than supply. Let me also tell you clearly that it means that on the road to 2019, the APC have no justification to tell Nigeria about integrity. Because if you want to be sincere to yourself, we have seen more corruption. We have seen more what do you make out of shortlisting list of losers and suddenly your own secretary to the state, to the government of the federation was emerged. Why was he removed if he was not a looter? Why was he removed if he was not corrupt? Spend over 200 and something million.
No, you are judging him.
And that's not within your jurisdiction. Government.
Yes.
What was the chemistry?
That's not within your jurisdiction.
Yes.
It's an allegation.
It's an allegation.
Yes. He was alleged to have done something wrong. He's been investigated.
Thank you.
He has not been.
That brings us to the very clear issue. That brings us. I like that position you have taken. All these individuals who Lai Mohammed have chose to identify. Let me also tell you, if Lai Mohammed leaves that office tomorrow, you will hear what will be said about him with respect to mismanagement of funds within his purview. It is natural in Nigeria. Those names that have been shortlisted, none of them have been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. What they are doing is even sub-judice. When the matter is in court, you have no powers to speak on that issue. What Lai Mohammed have done is to subject those individuals to the court of public opinion. What they have done is double trial. What they have done is to blackmail the judiciary to reason in their own line. What they have done is to say they have the capacity to whip the judiciary into line to give decisions that those persons have indeed stolen. Let me also say that again is a factor that will bring them down. The PDP have been tried in the past and they have failed. I'm aware that they have asked for forgiveness. Anybody can come and say, I've offended you. You are forgiven, but we are not likely to make same mistake again. What that presupposes is that the APC as today have failed Nigerians.
That's your judgment.
Yes, in my opinion, and in the opinions of those who believe in me, in the opinions of those who have interacted with, the APC as a as a political party
let's not go personal.
has failed the Nigerians.
let's
Same
not go
way
personal.
PDP failed the Nigerians and Nigerians voted them out.
Okay, let me
Therefore,
press
going
you
to
there.
2019, both of them will not be a factor. Both of them will not be considered in determining the fate of this country in 2019.
All right, let me bring Sazet Disobo in here. One thing that has come forth in this conversation over looted funds is funding election. Yeah, does this revelation, give us something to reflect on how election is funded in this country?
Well, first of all, let me quickly just touch on it. Like the question you asked, if this issue was not diversionary, unfortunately he avoided it. You see, like we all know, it is diversionary, and it has always been the case. When the president was about to go on a medical vacation, sometime 2 Decembers ago, a few days before he left, some cheaper guests were released, and everybody was jubilating over that. And for a very long time, the issue of his medical vacation was pushed to the background until he overstayed and it came up again. When this issue of Fulani herdsmen, when it was getting heated and getting too much, the issue of Apc came up. They were kidnapped and they were released, and the Boko Haram people drove into Apc in triumphant entry, like Jesus Christ entering Jerusalem on the back of the horse, and everybody was carried away with the fact that the guests had been released, even though one Christian is still left. Now this one has come up. Oh, you see, let me tell you. Unlike what he said, Lai Mohammed did not react to the court judgment. That court judgment was given over 5 or 6 months ago. Lai Mohammed himself confessed that he is reacting to the challenge thrown to him by PDP, not because of what the court said. And the court made it very clear, release the names of those who have refunded. Up till now, we have been hearing of people, of monies recovered, of this and this. Just 2 weeks ago or last week, the finance minister wrote to EFCC to reconcile the list, the comprehensive list of what has been recovered, which means between the EFCC and the finance ministry, they are not even at par. And we also know that the controversy over are being suspended or expelled from, is it MIRO or what they call it, that led to the National Assembly now passing a bill separating the account of that group from EFCC account. What gave rise to it? Because they now discovered that EFCC owned up to say that because they were paying the recovered fund into their own official account, that they had tampered with it. And that was why they were suspended in the first instance. So in all these things, you see, it has a lot to play in the coming elections. That is the truth. And I'm happy that it is happening. I will not say because I'm in PDP, I will say that PDP did well. But like Obasanjo said yesterday, if these issues were not there, if these challenges were not there, then Nigerians didn't have any business voting out PDP and bringing you on board. They brought you on board because you had told them that you have a solution. And you cannot continue to lament over the past.
Okay.
And if we are to looking at the list, not all of them on that list have actually been taken to court. Secondus in 2006 or 2005, he took EFCC to court over these same allegations. And then he got a judgment. The court awarded 10 million in his favor.
As damages.
EFCC appealed. 2 years after, the appeal has not yet been heard because EFCC has not pursued it diligently.
Okay, let me pause you there.
To now include the same man who has not been charged to court.
Yeah.
He has given them 48 hours.
I think we've established that point. We've established that point. But because we really don't have much time. But let me bring in here. This is about the Nigerian people. What, in your opinion, should be the perception of both the ruling party and the opposition party with all this that is coming out at this point in time, particularly against the background that it also has brought forth how elections are funded in this country?
You know, I cited at first when I made my comment that it's not a party thing at say. For me, when it's party, we'll continue to get it wrong. My barrister friend said something.
Can you respond to the question? Respond to the question here. Yeah.
Your question, I'm still going towards you.
No, go straight to my question. Collins.
The Nigerian contest.
Yes. Yes.
It's a project, and we need to fight it as a project.
Okay.
Not party team. Because the coming election, in short, APC was given an opportunity on the ground that PDP had failed. And I don't want to see like party failing anymore. Because we have agreed time immemorial that most of the parties we have in this country, virtually all the parties, do not have its own manifesto. So it's been, and it's always been like a platform where you stand and have opportunity to serve. To me, the present administration is just some members among first 11 in football team that may not have performed 100% optimum. And you expect in the second half, that is why people like me, even in the APC, have been advocating for second half. Let us have a change of players. It seems some of these players are not playing it well. We are not, the two members of the party are not happy the way things are going. Because one, there are issues that should be dealt with at the right time, and there are issues that shouldn't be on the front burner. But it's becoming a phase of bringing up something that is not necessary at the time in order to get things delivered. But just to say, people in PDP of the past are also more of the people in the administration of today. So it was not strange to begin to see some things happen. Okay. Because when the whole system just started, and some of us were advocating that these persons have come to hijack the government, to hijack the system many of us have been pursuing from the ACN days. And what do you take of us? And many persons said, we have started shouting. We should reduce our shouting. So even though we are loyalists of the party, we have time immemorial cry. And now you check the gallogram of the administration you have at the federal level. You will find out that those initiators are not there. The people who have taken over the leadership of Nigeria today, apart from President Muhammadu Buhari and very few, not up to 3, in the whole of the presidency, are all attackers. So we, the true APC members, can also appeal to Nigerians to give us a better chance again, where the front runners will come, and we will identify these people who are invaders, so they can excuse us in order to deliver. Because one, the party is not delivering, it's not the party anymore. It is the first half team that are there that have not delivered. Okay. And we who almost pay our blood, even in some cases did for the party to survive, are paying because issues that are not to be issued have been issued since the government came on board. And we are not happy with this. And that is why, before 2019, by 2019, we are going to come out very strong to check those people they will impose on us again as candidates, whether at the Senate, at governorship, those who do not mean well for the country and for the party will not be given a chance. They should get ready. It is not a threat, but it is the will of the ordinary people who had helped to make some of them find their way in. Okay. Otherwise, people like us should have been on studio be anywhere and will be enumerating and identifying major projects, things that we have done to bring down the pains of our people. Instead, we'll continue to push and begin to do unnecessary defensive.
All right. Just on the verge of capping up this first segment of the discussion, I'll just give our panelists 1 minute each to talk about one question that I've asked that nobody seems to have. Either they've not heard me, or they are not willing to respond, or in the characteristics of politician, they parry the question. Yeah. That this issue of looted fund has brought forth the issue of funding election, monies for funding election. Yes, Vice of Yahweh, I'm giving you 1 minute on that.
I think very clearly. I'm very happy that my brother Amadi have agreed that his party has failed. And like Obasanjo said, you don't reinforce failure.
I said the government
So yes, the government under the auspices of APC have failed, and you don't reinforce failure.
But we still have second
to
half.
ask for a second half is to ridicule the essence, is to take Nigerians for a ride. And just to say that elections in this country are quite very expensive. You need capital, huge capital. Even the so-called third force, the candidate we are talking about.
Sure.
We are going to harvest progressives from either the AP, even from those looted funds. That's what you call revolutionary legality.
You're going to harvest from the looted funds
Harvest those individuals within the APC and the PDP.
that are alleged to have been looted.
Yes, we are going to harvest them for the maximum good of the people.
For the funding of the
Yes,
third
because let me
force.
tell you, elections in this country, you need huge capital to drive it. It's not just saying we want to take over. You need capital to wrestle power from this from this political gangsters.
That's what the APC
You need it clearly.
Okay.
So just to say that the APC, President Muhammadu Buhari emerged as president with looted funds. So therefore, if you are to identify those who have looted this country, those who form the bulk, the chalk, there are plethora of petitions against Rotimi and Memechi in the FCC, including our ex-governor of this state. Nothing have been said.
Okay, let's proceed there. Just quickly.
Well, just as he said, election in Nigeria has been made very expensive. And the electorate, they are not helping issues because we are just discussing it outside before I came in here. When I read what people write on social media, and I just laugh because the last governorship election in Edo State, even those pensioners, teachers, and all those who were busy shouting for 2,000-3,000 naira, I saw all of them jumping over, running after those. So election, there is no way we can run away from it.
Okay.
Until there is a drastic decision. But my concluding note is that the whole of this thing, the Dasuki Gate, the number one man that should even be listed is the president, because he also benefited from it.
You can substantiate that here.
A jeep?
You can,
No.
You can substantiate that here.
No, he admitted that a jeep.
He
He admitted that a jeep was bought for him. He admitted it, but that he didn't know the money was from the looted
That was
fund.
not, it's not
Okay,
something that
okay.
presidents usually do.
So
All
that
right.
is it.
Every ex-president, they do change their
Listen,
record.
when
All
we
right.
are talking, I
All right,
kept
just
quiet.
be calm because I won't come back to you
kept
again.
quiet,
I won't come back to you because
Then
you interjected. Yeah.
Finally, what are we talking about? 22 of the 24 governors of APC today were once in PDP, and they held very important positions. 22 of 24. 20 former PDP governors, 20 of them are in APC today. 3 of the 5 speakers of the House of Representatives we have had in this country, 3 of them are in APC today, and 2 of them are governors. So when you look at APC talking of corruption of the past, I just laugh.
Okay, let me proceed. You've established a point. Yes, round up here
Just
quick.
to appreciate my leader.
Yeah.
That was just what I said. That after they have messed up the whole place, and also to appeal to my brother who we are, by the grace of God, pushing his strength that will awaken the system. If we allow this looter to also come, maybe take from their looted funds
To fund our
they will
post.
still hijack the way they hijacked the
Okay, that's it. Thank
And that was
you.
exactly
Thank you. We'll take a short break and then we'll bring our other panelists on board to conclude our discussion on the looted fund controversy, looted list controversy. Join us again on TMI Tuesday.